Hi everybody and welcome to Behind the Vanity. I'm Jessica. Today's video is actually going to be really fun. It's something completely different. I am going to do my best to create the makeup and the hair that I had in high school. Of course, some of the products aren't going to be exact because you can't find them anymore, but I found some things that are about as close as I can, and there'll also be a fun surprise at the end, so make sure you stick around to the very end. So the first step in me creating my makeup that I wore in high school is to show you what I looked like in high school, and I'm going to try to create about what I did like in my junior year of high school. So here's a picture right here. There's one. I had braces. I can't put those back on again, and I wish I had the fullness in my face that I once had, but that's gone. And my hair is lighter and thinner and everything, and then here is another picture. So yes, so I'm gonna do my best to recreate, and of course, you know, I had to work with the best. I don't have a ton of pictures of me from back then because, you know, cameras were just, you know, we didn't just have like iPhones and picture phones. I mean, you had to get like a disposable camera or have a camera and get the film developed. So it's harder to have pictures from back then. So anyways, let's get started. So I remember what I used to wear for like, we called it cover up back in the day. Did any of you call like foundation or powder cover up? That's what we did. I don't know. I don't know if it was just my generation. You know, and a lot of this is from the 90s. You know, this is kind of when I started putting makeup on, and kind of a lot of my high school years and early 2000s. So one thing I used to use was the CoverGirl. It came in a compact, and it was like the cream foundation. Of course, you know, when you're in high school, it can't match your skin. I mean, I don't know who these girls are today where it matches their skin, but back in the day, our foundation never matched our skin. Ever. So I made sure to make that legit. So I didn't want to spend a ton of money doing all this, and back in the day I didn't have any money. I didn't have a job when I was in high school, so I wasn't just like going out and like getting my nails done like some girls did. I just didn't have access to money like that. So a lot of what I wore for foundation was like the CoverGirl stuff that's very similar to this. This is just from the Dollar Tree. It's Color Mates, but there was a CoverGirl product very similar to this with this little sponge, and it's kind of like a cream kind of a foundation. So we're gonna start with that, and that is what I would have started with. I didn't know about doing eyes first or anything like that. Let's apply this, and I think it's pretty much in a shade darker than my skin, or off from my skin, so it'll be pretty true to form. God, the sponge actually smells like it did back in high school. The makeup doesn't really ring a bell. This is actually working a whole lot better than I thought. And of course, back in the day, we don't know anything about blending, so you have the line that stops here, you know? This is what us teenagers used all to cover up all our zits. Okay, so the next thing that I kind of recall doing is I do recall using bronzer. I didn't use blush or anything like that, but I do recall using bronzer at some point in my junior year. And again, I just got this. This is something I've gotten at the Dollar Tree. It's Beauty Benefits Hollywood. And so I'm just gonna put some of that on, and I wouldn't have known exactly how to have applied it back in the day. So I probably would have just done, I think I just did kind of put it all over. So the next thing I would do, and really I didn't have very much makeup. It was just a few products. And so the next thing I would do is have these compacts, you know, because when we're in high school, our skin is really oily. And I would apply this dozens of times a day, and I probably had my compact confiscated by my teacher at some point, I'm sure. And I know I used to use CoverGirl, but I didn't want to spring the money for CoverGirl, so I just had this LA Colors one from the Dollar Tree, but I'd use one of these, and I still use these to this day. So yeah, we would take the cover up, and I would like rub it on my face. It wasn't just like blotting like I do now. It was like, you know, really rubbing it on there, you know. back in the day. So next is the eyes and the lips. So I used to for sure wear mascara. My eyelashes were just as sad back then as they are now, but I would use, you know, the best thing I could find, you know. I've got this Lash Sensational Curvitude, and I was always looking for the next best thing for the eyelashes because they've always been sad, so I would just buy the best thing. I was a sucker for commercials that promised that this mascara now is the best. So I was always at the Osco Drug or the Walgreens trying to find the best thing. And I would apply as many coats of mascara as I could. And then the next thing I would do, and this was one of my eyeshadows I used to use. It's not the actual one. I did buy a new one, but I used to love the CoverGirl eyeshadows. They used to have so many different colors, and I used two all the time. I used pink chiffon, which I could not find. It was like kind of like a shimmery light pink, but they did have champagne, which I also used. So there it is. I think they've gotten smaller over the years. But so I used to use that, and I didn't have any makeup brushes for eyeshadow. That like was not a thing that at least I was aware of. So we used these little, you know, little sponges that come with it. And I still sometimes, every now and again, use one of these, you know. Sometimes you just need something. But so I used to basically I would just take this eyeshadow, and I would go, my entire eyelid would be covered in this. So there we go. We got all that eyeshadow on. It's actually really pretty eyeshadow. This will go in my rotation. This is actually really nice. I guess that's why I bought it. I remember really liking it. So back in the day, like the eyebrows like weren't like a thing really. In fact, funny story. So I remember back in high school, you remember like those like glitter gels? Like I still use, like obviously we use like loose glitter for makeup and stuff, but they come in like little pots, and it was like a gel that had glitter in it, and you could put it like anywhere, you know, we'd wear it on our eyelids or something like that, you know. I remember one time I got into this phase where I was putting it on my eyebrows. And I had a girl I went to high school with, and I can't remember who it was. I don't know if we're like Facebook friends or anything like that, but she told me she wanted to, that me having glitter in my eyebrows made her want to punch me in the face. And I can't remember if she said it in a way that like made me laugh, or if she was kind of being mean, but either way, it's hilarious. I'm laughing about it now. There's no hard feelings, and I look back on pictures of myself from back in that day, and I want to punch my own self in the face. So no hard feelings. If you're watching and it was you, comment and let me know. Let's laugh about it. But anyway, so let's keep going. So something I used to love was liquid eyeliner. That was like the wings. So I was all about the winged eyeliner. So I've just got this one here from LA Colors. I probably used one from like Maybelline or L'Oreal back in the day. I can't remember what the name of some of them would have been, but I remember I used it. Now I love it like on a pen. Back in the day, we didn't have that. It was like brushes, so you had to be good at it, you know. So, but I used to go like this. I used to take the liner, and I'd really wing the liner. I don't even know if I almost feel like I'm too good at it now. I don't know, maybe not. Mascara. So I'm gonna do an extra step just because my eyebrows were a little bit fuller because I didn't really tweeze them or anything like that back in high school. I'm gonna just go ahead and put a little bit of brow gel in them just to make them look a little bit more authentic. Okay, so even even though I didn't use brow gel back in the day, it does actually help my eyebrows look a little bit more like they did back in the day. Really, it's looking pretty spot on. There's one last step to the makeup. And you'll remember this product from a Beauty Regrets video that I will put up here in the corner and link down below as well if you want to watch it later. And I mentioned that I used to wear this frosted lipstick back in the day. And I couldn't find it to make this video, but I bought a lip topper at Dollar Tree just to have to replace another lip topper I had. And I ended up with this LA Colors Cosmic Lip Topper in Lunar, and it did not do what I wanted it to do. But in the process, I was like, this may work for my high school video, because it is pretty much a frosted lipstick, and I wore them in kind of like a lilac-y color, and I'm sure I had one that was actually this color at some point, or very similar. So I was like, this is like the closest thing I could find to something I would have worn back then. So we're gonna apply it and see how it looks. I haven't tried this yet. It's a little bit more blue than I would have worn, so I'm gonna mute it out with something else. Okay, I actually muted it out with like a shimmery kind of nude Estee Lauder lipstick that I have. And it kind of tones it down a little bit. But really that is pretty much what my makeup looked like in high school. So and honestly, I was probably better at it then than I am now, honestly. Now it's time for the hair, and still stick around because there is a special surprise at the end. So be right back. Okay, so I'm back, and you'll notice I wet my hair. That is because I am gonna do how I did my hair. So every morning I'd get up. Man, one thing about when I was in high school compared to now is now I am lazy. If I'm not going to work or something, I won't put makeup on, I won't do my hair. But man, every day for school, I got up, showered, did my hair, did my makeup, put on my best clothes, and it's probably why my grades weren't great. I'm actually better at like applying myself to things now, maybe because I'm not so distracted. But anyway, first of all, I bought a scrunchie. Just because, you know, that's how it would have been back in the day. So I would take a shower and my hair would be wet. And it was longer. And then my dad would buy these big cheap tubs of hair gel. And this one's just a cheap one. It's probably just about as good as the one I would have used back then. In the big tub, man, I needed a big tub. And I would I'd grab so much gel with my hair being wet. Oh, I can't even believe I'm gonna do this now. And I would cover my hair in gel. And I would use a ton of gel. I mean, it's not even really funny how much. I mean, I would make sure my hair was coated. This is what we do, this thing to get like a wet look. But I used to do it to make my hair crunchy and curly and the way we wore it in the 90s. And then what you did, you just kept scrunching. Oh God, this is so disgusting. Who else did this? I mean, I know everybody did it, but how did we do it? Did any of y'all do this at all? Like, I'm sure you did. If you're about my age, you probably did. So sometimes I would let it kind of air dry, but I would also sometimes take a hairdryer on really low. Okay, so if you've stuck with me this long, you get to see the couple of surprises. And the reason they're surprises is because it's just a little extra and it's a little embarrassing as well. So this is the hair. Of course, I don't have nearly as much hair as I used to. It's not nearly as long, but it would about look like this. I had it kind of blondish one time too, and roots and whatnot. And so I wore chokers. I always wore like little t-shirts. I think these are the same hoops that I probably wore in high school. I'm pretty sure. And they still fit. And so then the two surprises are, one, that, you know, back in the day when we were looking like this, we were probably spraying ourselves with body spray galore, like Love Spell from Victoria's Secret, or I'm embarrassed that I still have this. I legitimately bought this when I was probably in junior high school. I have a vintage country apple from Bath and Body Works. And it is old, as you can tell, but I still have it. And I had a couple of them and I just never used it. And it's moved with me and moved with me. It's come all the way down to Tennessee with me. So this is very, very from that time and legitimately even before this look. So there's surprise number one. Surprise number two is if my friend Janelle is watching, she might recognize these pants. It's probably the only clothing item I still have from high school, with the exception of some performance clothes that I've hung onto. And these were with that stuff, so that's why I probably still have them. And I don't know how good you can see, but these pants, and I always used to wear shiny pants like this. So, yeah, and they still kind of fit. They're a little tight in the waist. And of course, I've got my choker on. I always wore chokers. So thank you so much for joining with me and letting me do this fun video and such a throwback. And if you've done any of these trends, if any of this like struck a chord with you at all, please leave me a comment and let me know. Of course, subscribe to my channel and hit that bell so we can do more fun videos like this in the future. Also, like this video, share this video with any of your friends that you grew up looking like this with, and follow me on social media as well. I'll have all that linked below. Thank you so much for joining with me, and I'm gonna go wash this out of my hair immediately. So anyways, I'll see you next time.